Hello everybody and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be focusing towards writing our getChats function, which is going to be responsible for getting all of the chats that the user is a part of from our Firestore database, and then returning them to us in a structured fashion so that we can use them to display data inside of our chats page UI. So with that said, let's get into it and let's see how we're going to be tackling this problem. Before I get started, I'd just like to mention that make sure that in the chats page providers constructor that we call the getChats function at the end of it. And once that is done, we can actually get into writing our function. So our getChats function is going to have a try-catch block inside of which all of the logic is going to consist. And inside of my catch block, it's going to be very simple. I'll add two print statements that are going to say error getting chats, and then one is just going to simply print the error object that gets passed to it. And then the next thing I'm going to do is that now I'm going to set up my chat stream to actually listen to the getChatsForUser function that we have written in our database service class. So our chat stream is going to be set equal to db dot and then getChatsForUser. And this getChatsForUser expects us to give it a user ID for the user that we need to get the chats for. So I'm going to give it the user ID of the currently logged in user by accessing our authentication provider dot user dot and then UID. And with this, I'll attach a listener function to it, and our listener function is going to get a snapshot given to it every time something happens inside of our Firestore database that causes this function to run, as well as it's going to run initially as well to provide us all of the different documents that we require. So now that we have access to the different documents provided to us by the getChatsForUser function, we need to go over them. We need to perform some certain operations on them, and then we need to return a chat object instance for them, and then we need to take all of those different chat objects that we've created and we need to save them inside of our, if I can remember correctly, chats list. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say that our chats list is going to be equal to something. And well, what is it going to be equal to? Well, it's going to be equal to our snapshot.documents. But if I just give it my snapshot.documents, that's just not what it requires. If we go up to the definition for this variable, it expects us to give it a list of chat objects, and we are giving it something that's not a list of chat objects. So we need to kind of do some manipulation on the data to make it into a list of chat objects. So first thing first, I'm going to go over all of the documents that we got, and I'm going to do a map function on them. And what my map function is going to do is that it's going to take each document and it's going to perform some asynchronous operations on it. And at the end of those asynchronous operations, our end goal is going to be to return an actual chat model. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a comment here where I'll say return chat instance, and I'm going to say that I'm going to return a chat object. And our chat object requires some information. And the information is the UID of the chat, which we can just get from _d. So that's our document.id. For the current user ID, we can just pass to the auth.user.uid. For the members list, I'm just going to set that to an empty list for now. For the messages, I'll set that to an empty list too. And for activity, what I'll do is that I'll do chat data and then is activity. And then for the actual group, I'll also do the same thing. I'll do chat data and then is group. But now the question arises, what's chat data? And I'll answer that in just a second. Well, chat data is going to be just the information that we retrieve from the document that we are mapping over. So how do we get chat data? It's very simple. I'm going to create a variable of type map string comma dynamic. So it's just a variable which stores a map. And then what I'm going to say that this map is going to be called _chat data. And then it'll be equal to _d, which is the document, dot the data function that's on the document. And then we'll cast that as a map string comma dynamic. And with this, I'll add a semicolon and do command save. Now we're getting a bunch of errors, and the reason for that is that if we hover over our snapshot.documents.map function, it tells us that we're returning an iterable future chat, as you can see, but it can't be assigned to the variable because the variable is of type list chat. So we need to do something to that. Well, in layman terms, what's actually happening is that our snapshot.documents.map function is actually returning a list of futures, because as you can see, our function is actually an asynchronous function, so it's returning a list of futures, and we need a way to actually resolve these list of futures. Well, conveniently, Dart provides to us a very helpful function called future.wait that can take in a list of futures and then resolve them and then return them as a list to us. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to firstly navigate as to where my map function's ending parentheses is, which is here. I'm going to copy all of this, and I'm going to say that I'm going to do an await call, and I'm going to do await future and dot wait. And if I click on this, it auto completes. It says that it needs to get a list of futures given to it. I'll add a semicolon first, and then I'll remove this. And inside of here, what I'll do is that I'll add my code. And as you can see, as soon as I do that, all of the error kind of go away, and now we have a much more clean looking piece of code. But now we get another error, and that's because await expression can only be used in an asynchronous function. So what can we do there? Well, it's very simple. For the listener function that we have that is listening to our gets chats for user function, I'm going to mark it as an asynchronous function. As soon as I do it and do command save, all of the error should be gone. And that's pretty much all we had to do. So basically what's happening right now is that we are listening, or we're setting up a stream that's listening to changes inside of our Firestore database for the chats that the user is a part of. And which user? Well, that's the currently logged in user, as you can see here. Then every time this listening function is invoked, we get a snapshot. And for each of that snapshot, we go through each of the documents that are inside of that snapshot. And then we get the chat data for them using the _d.data function, and then we return a chat instance for that. Since we're using a map function, we get a list of chat, and since this is all a list of futures, we then use the future.wait function to actually resolve all of those futures, and at the end we just get a simple list of chats. But we're not done with this function right now, because as you can see, we still got to figure out a way to get the members and a way to get the messages too, because for now we've just gotten a snapshot that consists of the some of the information but not all of it. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a comment which is going to be responsible for just telling us a block that this block is responsible for getting all of the users in the chat. So I'm going to call this comment get users in chat. And now inside of this, we're going to be adding logic to actually get the users. So if I hover over my chat model and I go to the members list, I'm going to see that it is a list of chat users. So what I'm going to do is that I'll create a list of chat user, and I'll call this _members, and I'll set that to be an empty list. And with this, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to now add a for loop. And I'm going to say that our for loop is now going to be this traditional for loop. What we're going to do is that we're going to loop over the values or the entries present within the chat data members array. So if I go back to our Firestore database, we are getting these documents and inside of these documents, we have these three keys, and our members key has a value of an array of strings, and each entry in that array corresponds to a unique user ID. So I'm going to loop over each of those user IDs, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to now call Firestore, and I'm going to get the information regarding each of the users. So I'm going to create a variable which is going to store a document snapshot, and I'm going to call this user snapshot, and I'll set that equal to await. And then I'm going to do db dot, and then I'm going to have the function called get user, and then I'll pass in the UID, and I'll add a semicolon at the end and do command save. So now that we have the user snapshot, I need to extract the data from it. To do that, I'll create another variable just because I like to kind of take things one at a time, and I'm going to call this our user data map, and this is going to be equal to our user snapshot. And then I'm going to call the data function on it, and then I'll cast that as a map string comma dynamic. And with this, what I'm going to do is that I'll add a semicolon at the end as well. Now that we have access to the user data, we can actually take our user and we can add them to our members array. So I'm going to take our members array and I'm going to add to it. And what am I going to add to it? What I'm going to add to it are chat user dot from JSON. So, and then I'm going to add the user data or pass the user data as the JSON data to the chat user factory method. And then I'll add the semicolon here, add a comma and do Alt-Shift-F command, save. And that's pretty much all we had to do. So in our chat data, we have a members array, which is a list of strings. Each entry corresponds to user's ID. So I loop over them. Then for each user, I go to Firestore and I get that user's information. Then I extract the data from it by calling the .data function on it and then just casting it as a map, comma string. And then finally, I'll add to my members list an instance of our chat user by using the from JSON factory method. And that's all we had to do. So now that we're done with this, the last step that we have to do is that we have to go to our members list here, and I have to set that equal to the members list that we just have obtained and do command save. And that's pretty much all we had to do. So now that this is done, the last thing is that we need to get the last message that was sent in the chat, because that's also required to be shown inside of our chats page UI. So I'm going to say get last message for chat. And then what I'm going to do is that I am going to say that I'm going to create a list of chat message. And then what I'm going to do is that I'll call this messages, and I'll set that equal to an empty list. With this done, I'm going to create a variable which will store a query snapshot. I'm going to call this chat message. And then we're going to be using the function that we created in the last video, which is going to be await and then db dot, and then it's going to be get last message for chat. And get last message for chat expects us to give it the UID of the chat that we need to get the information about. And well, that is going to be the d.id, so the document.id. And then what I'm going to do is that once I have access to the chat message, I'm going to have an if clause. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say if the chat message dot documents dot is not empty, then perform the following actions. What are we going to be doing? Well, we first got to extract the data for the document. So I'm going to do string comma dynamic for my maps type, and I'm going to say it's going to be message data, and it's going to be equal to our chat message dot docs dot first dot data. So I'm going to go to my documents list. I'm going to take the first document. I'm going to call the data function on it. I'm going to add an exclamation point as well, because now we've checked that it's not empty, so we can be confident that it's going to have something in it. And then I'm going to do as map string comma dynamic just to cast it, and do Alt-Shift-F command save. Now that we have access to the message data, we need to do the final thing, which is that we need to create the message object. So I'm going to say chat message is the message object. I'm going to call it underscore message, and I'll set that equal to chat message dot from JSON, and then to the from JSON factory method, I'm going to pass in the underscore message data variable, and then add a semicolon here and do command save. And then the final thing I'm going to do is that I'll say messages dot add, and I'm going to add to it the underscore message and add a semicolon here and do command save. So with all of this done, the last thing that we need to do is that we need to go to our actual chat instance that we're returning, and we need to replace the messages list to be this messages list that we just created, and do command save. And then the final thing that we have to do is that we need to go to the actual a map function snapshot.documents.map function, which is here, and we need to cast that to be to list and do command save. And then once that is done, at the end of the function, I am going to call one very handy function, which is notifying listeners, and make sure that the notify listeners call is actually inside of the listener function and not outside of it, because every time this listen function gets invoked and we get a new snapshot, I want to notify listeners once we've done kind of one retrieving and then kind of manipulating the data. And after that, we just need to call notify listeners, and then whatever different widgets are actually listening to this class, and we have our chats page that's actually listening to it. As you can see here, we wrap everything in a multi-provider. Then everything underneath of this provider is now going to re-render itself with the new data that's now in the class. And with this, I'll do command save, and that's pretty much all we had to do for our get chats function. So with this, I'm going to end this video here. And now in the next video, we'll actually link up the data that we've just retrieved with the UI that we've just created inside of our chats page. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.